Oh, yeah. I've been getting more into the blues and whatnot. I just, man, I always, it, when I watch other guitar players, I get so jealous anymore because I feel like I've ran out of phrases. You know, like,
Man, I think that's every guitar player that like whenever they hear somebody that's like so well versed and outside of the box, and they're like, okay, well, I guess I've got to put myself in like one little box here, and this being a country versus metal podcast, I grew up in like the metal world, and now I'm kind of in the Americana songwriter world, so I still go back and play all that old metal stuff. I love it.
yeah. Oh, you have a Dean ML behind you. That's
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a what is that other one back there? I have a don't know if you can see that. This is an old Schecter
nice.
Hellraiser, and that thing plays better. I got a bunch of cool guitars in here. That thing's a shredder, man. It feels so easy to play.
Yeah,
And I love them active pickups too. I never even really take an electric guitar out with me touring, but when I'm in my bedroom, it's all it's all inclusive.
yeah, yeah. I also saw on Google that you were in death metal bands.
Yeah, yeah, man, I grew up, I think I started playing guitar at about 13. And like the only reason I started playing guitar was probably from the Testament New Order album, and maybe the Cannibal Corpse Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the Mutilated albums. Like those are the reasons I picked up a guitar and started like playing. But yes, I played in a band called Skull Plate for a little bit in Oklahoma City. I played bass for those guys. We got to play with some fun people, Vader, Cataclysm. Um, Cannibal Corpse. Some of the stuff I listened to back then was like Malevolent Creation, Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Deicide. All the good thrashy stuff.
Yeah,
I like my metal thrashy and no clean vocals.
yeah. It, that's what I used to listen to, and
Yeah.
then it just got to a point. I think I was just like, getting, just tired of getting yelled at. That's,
I think it's the coming of age. The metal world is it's such a young man's game, and it's so competitive. And so all the metal guys when I was growing up, they wanted to play the fastest, most intricate riffs, on the planet. And I think I was kind of blinded for a while by like chasing that intricate guitar playing style rather than just jamming. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But man, I love those days, and I sometimes wish I could go back to some of my favorite death metal albums and pull the vocals out of them and just listen to the guitar parts.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of cool riffage behind there, and
Yeah.
like older now, you just kind of like, man, like if the vocals weren't there, this would be like a really cool song to drive to.
Well, I think it was like 20 years ago. I finally said, you know what, I'm done playing death metal guitar, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Just I think again, I think it's the coming of age. If you look historically at most of the people that are in the broad term Americana genre, most of them have some type of metal influence or backing. So I think most of us out here that are my age, I'm 50. I think most of us are just a bunch of damn metalheads that try to figure out a different way to express themselves. That I was a little bit more comprehensive for the aging man, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because I was wondering because a lot of like you're really good at finger picking, and I did not expect you to be a fan of electrics because when people are that good on acoustic, they tend to like sometimes play electric, but they don't enjoy it. It's weird. It's always because I'm a terrible acoustic guitar player. I'm like campfire good,
Okay,
but
as good as you need to be.
yeah, yeah, and
All right.
I I really thought like I bought a banjo and I really thought like that would help with like finger picking and everything, and I it, maybe it's the rhythmic side of it. Like I don't have like a good connection with the right hand, but I love watching people play like how you play.
I like finger picking in like in the spectrum of what I do and the stuff that I listen to. Like if you like playing a lot of solo acoustic shows, I feel like finger picking it adds a little bit more space and a little bit more melodic content for you to sing over rather than somebody just beating the hell out of an acoustic guitar strumming that thing like it owes them money. It kind of fills up all the space, so I like all those little finger pick notes to be intentional to provide kind of that ambient, frolicking space to where I can throw my vocal melody and lyrics on top of it and create something special. Because I mean, I only use a guitar pick when I'm playing guitar solo stuff, you know. And hell, it took me forever just to learn how to hybrid pick, to hold a pick in one hand and then you know, use your other two, whatever they're calling it, hybrid pick. And I learned that when I was locked up. I'd never done that stuff in my life, and I got in some old hell, it was Johnny somebody had like a chicken picking video, and I really started focusing on Johnny Highland.
Jalen Highland, dude.
John Highland.
I love
Johnny
that dude.
Highland. So I had his I was teaching guitar in prison, and I that was the first video I had sent in, because we had a classroom where we would do seminars on the weekend. We would have like the Johnny Highland stuff, some Brad Paisley videos, and then we'd have like a bunch of Steve Kaufman bluegrass tunes, and like we were really learning how to do different things. You know, I played before I went in, but I'd never been like a full-time teacher, and so I had to learn a lot so that I didn't look stupid when I was teaching folks, you know.
Yeah, dude, I've mentioned him the last couple of podcasts, and people are like, "Oh,
Oh, really?
check him out." And the first time I might have seen that video, but it, like, you know, being blind and everything, it's just there's amazing talent, and there's no excuse to sit down and really grind out and learn it, because you're the only limitation. But man, he's a monster on guitar. He's
It,
so good.
He's great. And you know what was frustrating me is I can play some songs note for note off of Yngwie Malmsteen albums, but when I try to jump into the chicken picking world, I'm like, oh, this is different. I got to know exactly what chords I'm playing over to make this work. And
Yeah,
it still is a journey. It still is a journey. I'm certainly not going to go play a lead guitar for some chicken picking band, but in my room, I'm going to hack this stuff out in between playing two old Cannibal Corpse songs and stuff. You know.
yeah. It's so true when you do get to a certain level of just like the straight shredding, it's you'll hit a limit, and you might get a little bit faster, but then you find out like chicken picking stuff like that is way harder.
It is.
So
Well,
much
but I
harder.
know chicken picking guys that can't do the shreddy stuff because they've just learned. I think that on both sides of the spectrum, those things are difficult. But there's a few people out there like Guthrie Govan, or however the hell
Oh
else you pronounce his name.
yeah.
That dude can chicken pick and shred. Like he's got it down. You know.
When he makes his guitar sound like a violin, I don't know if you've
You
seen
know, I
that.
do a lot of that on my live shows. People always ask me, "What are you using for a violin pedal?" Because I'll hit a on my acoustic pedal board. I'll just throw a little extra reverb, a boost pedal for some headroom, and I'll use my volume pedal on my board, and I'll just use that really heavy vibrato and kind of swell into it, because the violin doesn't have that attack. So I try to make it sound like somewhere like a violin and a pedal steel had a baby, you know. And I
Nice.
love doing that. And people will ask me all the time after shows, "Hey, what's that violin pedal?" I'm like, "That's just fingers, reverb, and a boost pedal and volume, you know." But it's
Yeah,
easier to do with your volume pedal on your footboard rather than, having to worry about all that with your volume knob. But
yeah. Oh, dude.
amazing. The first time I saw you a couple years ago when I just got a TikTok. My daughter told me, "Dad, you got to get a TikTok." She had all these requests when I got out of prison, like, "Dad, you got to, like, the world's changed a little bit. You can't just have like MySpace and Facebook anymore. You got to get Tik." I've never got Snapchat, but I remember seeing you on TikTok when you were doing a bunch of the blind reactions. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think you even did one on my Pound of Rust song, and somehow it screwed up on the first time. So then you did like a second one that wasn't truly blind because you had just heard it, but TikTok didn't record it.
yeah. I remember that. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember. Somebody in the industry was like, "Dude, you have to check this song out." Uh-oh, he clicked off. More technical difficulties. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dream Pod today. Probably got a phone call.